All right. I already got it. This is great. All right. Hey, everyone. All right. Let me make sure the audio is okay, everything like that. Can you hear me? Did that come out okay? I literally just got the Neural DSP back, so I wanted to plug it in. That's why I was running a little bit late. I wanted it to be hooked up and playable. So let me turn that all the way down. It should be good. Should be ready to rock. Man, this company really went above and beyond here, guys. They're fantastic. Okay, so looks like we're doing okay. The only other thing, this came way earlier than I thought it was going to come. We have I have another delivery of something else that is with the delivery carrier right now, and it's from Japan. So we might have something on the stream to unbox depending on how fast it gets here. But yeah, that's not our here and there. I'm just going to leave that open. And let me turn off the little fan maker in the back so I can hear it a little easier. There we go. Yeah, customer service. So these Neural DSP people, I'll show you some of the other stuff they got me here. So they overnight me, basically, considering that this came from Finland. And I talked to them on Sunday night, well past the hour of when their business is open. And the next day, they just asked me to clarify a few things, which means they didn't ship it out their time. They're what? 8 hours ahead of me? Something like that. So by the time they got all my info, that means they had to have shipped it their Tuesday. It's here today. Today's Thursday. And I had it before noon. This is fantastic. So they sent me like a gajillion guitar picks, a gajillion stickers, some masks. So whenever I have to wear one of these, I'm going to wear that. But that's not the coolest thing they sent me. They sent me this. This is a book. Now, this book is like incredible. It literally goes through like the entire design of everything, how they did everything. It's like it literally reads like an art book, and it shows all the chipsets, the processors, all this stuff. I mean, like, they didn't need to do this. And then even like the different chassis they went through. This is just so cool. This is something that I'm gonna hold on to, and really I appreciate this. And this is just so cool. I briefly looked at it because I was so excited about getting the thing back on the board and up and running here. I kind of skimmed through it, but they went well above and beyond. This company's awesome. So we're definitely going to be getting rid of the Helix. And it's nothing against Line 6, and it's nothing against the Helix, but I've had the Helix for a while now, and I really don't need both, quite frankly. I think it's overkill to have both. And unless I was in a situation where I was really like touring again, which I'm clearly not doing that, uh, maybe I could justify having both and having one as a backup. But for right now, I don't think there's a need for that. I don't think it's a pressing issue. So we're just going to roll all the way 100% with this Neural DSP. I'm going to sell that Torpedo Captor 8, which I don't care for it anyways, and the Line 6 stuff, and we're going to be doing this pretty much all on its own from here on out. So I'm really excited. Again, I'm really impressed with the company, and you guys saw, I was really impressed with this product before it went down. I love every single thing about this. This thing is fantastic, and yeah, so nothing but really good vibes, and I'm really, really appreciative and really happy with the people at Neural DSP. They did, I can't say it enough, and over the top good job. All right, so let me just leave this up. I haven't linked the stream yet, and I do want to be sure that I'm not going to have a Japanese guitar sitting outside on my front, because DHL is pretty cool. They're a lot cooler than UPS, but they will just leave a guitar in the heat here, I've noticed. In California, they wouldn't do that. Here, they'll just kind of drop off the guitar and not even knock on the door, which is kind of terrifying when you think about it, but I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is, and at least it gets here safe the majority of the time. So let me just do this real quick. DHL, what is that? Oh, that's the other Fender Japan guitar. They just shipped that from Yokohama. Yeah, I'm making moves, guys. I'm going to have two new Fender Japans, one today at some point, and another one Yokohama, probably, if it left today, probably Monday. I don't think they could deliver on Sundays, but if it was like Monday, it would be here in 2 days from now. So it would have been Saturday, but I don't think they deliver on Saturdays. So let me go back here. All I have to do is send out the link, and then we can really get started. All right, copy. Cool. Then we'll get going. But how are you all doing today? Decent, I hope. It's hot here. I know David knows. He lives here. It's hot. The dog does not like the heat, man. He just wants to hang out all day inside. All right. So boom, got 4 years. Perfect, perfect, perfect. But yeah, and so now we got two of these things. The one of them's dead. I can at least look like I'm balling because I got the one here and then the one on the desk, but I'm really not sure what happened with it. All I know is that when I booted up the other one, they had already done all the software or firmware updates on it, and this one, I hadn't done anything yet on it. I was actually having a problem with the original one, and I think it wasn't having anything to do with this. I think it's just my Wi-Fi sucks. It wouldn't stay connected to the Wi-Fi long enough to do any updates. So we're going to send that guy back. The first Neural DSP. You will not be guessing any guitar weights. It's fun. No harm in that. No harm in that. All right, let's track that guy. But how strange is it that I make that video about Blink-182, right? Like, I don't talk about bands like that. I don't talk about any of that stuff. And then the day I post about Tom, Mark Hoppus announces he has cancer. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, did I curse the band? But obviously I didn't. I mean, he's had it for a while, but that sucks. That really sucks. That hits home pretty hard. I think we've all dealt with some people that have had to go through that. Some make it out, some don't. But, I hope nothing but the best for that guy. Obviously, don't want anything bad to happen to him. I just found the timing very, very weird that I mentioned the band that I never talk about on this channel. And just so happened that happened. But, yep, so we got the Neural DSP back, and we have the guitars coming in from Japan. Oh, man. Great family van. Hit 200,000 miles. That's awesome. That's got to be Japanese then. What kind of van is it? You hit 200,000 miles. It's either a Japanese van or it's like a really old, like a 90s van from America. That has to be my guess. Or maybe it's like a Volvo. I know those things can go forever too. But yeah, I don't want to just sit here and guess potential cars and stuff like that. But we have a very, very interesting weekend ahead of us. I have my parents, my daughter's grandparents are here. So they're going to, oh, really? A modern American caravan hit 200,000. That's very impressive. That's very impressive. Um, so what that means is I think I'm going to stream tonight, just like as much as I want, because I'm not going to have anybody here. It's just going to be me. And that's going to be pretty unique and pretty rare. And when I used to write and play with these things, I would sit with it for like 6 7 hours at a time. Now I'm lucky to get maybe an hour and a half to do that stuff, a day. But this is going to be fantastic. I'm really excited. I have so many ideas with this, and I'm curious. Once I finish up the modulation, well, I already did the modulation. Once I do the delays, what do you think I should go for next on this? I could do either the drives or the amps, or I don't know. I got all sorts of stuff on this Neural DSP. What else we got? Let's add something. We could start right into the captures. Compressors, I don't think needs its own video. EQ is a complicated thing. That's really going to be its own thing because there's a lot of ways to parallel it. But yeah, so we can do pretty much whatever we want with this guy now. Anything we want. We got it back, and I'm so excited for it. I really like this piece of gear. And I was bummed that it even went out for a few days. I got a taste for it. I really found my way around the quad Cortex, and then, stuff happens. But we got it back, and this is really good. This is really, really, really good. Let me see here. But I know that this is going to be weird, especially because I was just like, saying the sad stuff about Mark Hoppus. But before I heard any of that, I was talking to my wife because my wife, she really likes a lot of those, not those bands, but a lot of bands like from kind of the years right after that were kind of like that emo, screamo, stuff like that, like Taking Back Sunday and Used and stuff like that. And she's asking me, she's just like, she's like, do you still listen to, Weezer and Blink-182 now? Like their modern stuff. And I'm like, no, not really. And she's like, I just thought it gets a little bit weird that, like guys in their 50s are still singing about girls in high school. And I never really thought about it like that. I was like, oh shit, like they kind of do. Like Rivers Cuomo, he is if he's not 50, he's like right on the door of 50, and he's still singing those songs, man. It's just, I don't know, it's a little weird. Definitely a little weird. And I know Mark did a really similar stuff with the really appealing to the younger audience, so to speak. And I don't know. And that's part of the reason I found myself kind of defending Tom DeLonge to my wife, because I'm like, he at least wanted to do a lot of other stuff and play a lot more different music and kind of get funky with delays and create these big atmospheres and talk about, more existential and deeper meaning things than just, I got ditched at the prom in 1986 and, it still bothers me to this day kind of crap. But I don't know. Is there any bands like that with you guys that, maybe as you've grown up as a person, you've realized that they haven't really grown up as far as what they're writing about? I find that interesting, and it was in a unique perspective because I never thought about it like that. But she pointed it out, and I was like, oh, well, yeah, you got a good point. Let me see. Okay. But do you have any guesses? This is not a weight guess game, but the guitar that's on its way today is a newer, I think it's a 2020 Fender Japan guitar. You guys got any guesses? What do you think it is? It's one I've never had in, and I'm really excited about it, actually. But it's not a custom color. Actually, I think it's a one-off color, but it's not like a normal custom color like I would get. But shit, it's good. It's one of the ones that's loaded with all American electronics, including the pickups and the pots. And yeah, I saw it and I was like, oh, well, I kind of have to buy this, and business is doing really well again. Like I said, we sold the Tom DeLonge Strat. Viewer Caleb purchased the Mustang, the red one with the red matching headstock, the MG69. So those two guitars have moved. We got the quad Cortex. We have two new Fender Japans coming in, and there's two other ones. I want to buy my first kind of off-brand Japanese Les Paul from Fujigen, the factory Fujigen, maybe the brand, but I'm trying to narrow it down, and it's really difficult to buy a guitar completely sight unseen from a brand that you've never ever played in person. So, and when you go like on Reverb, if I'm looking up offset like a Jag, like David's saying, if I look up a Jag, I could see enough of those that I'll have an idea of what it's going to sell for. But when you get in some of these other brands, like there's a brand called Cools. They were made from 2007 to 2018 in the Fuji Gem factory in Japan, and that's the same factory that makes a lot of the Fenders and stuff like that. So, but I don't see them for sale. I don't know what I can resell the guitar for, and I don't want to take losses on guitars, and it's just it's a little bit riskier. Whereas when I see a custom order offset guitar, I know I'm going to be able to resell it. I know I'm not going to lose any money on it. Happy days. But I'm kicking them around. The prices are really good. They're really good, especially when I'm looking at, where they're made. They're fully made in Japan. They're not like some guitars where, they're assembled in Japan and, basically made in China. There's a few brands that do that. I'm not the biggest. I don't know. I won't say I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I would prefer that everything be done in-house with that. And that's just me. That's just my own opinion. I did see a Navigator come up for sale. I've mentioned them in the past, but that's way over the price range. That would cost me about 3,200 US. But it's like a proper R9 Gibson custom Les Paul copy, and it's tempting. But I don't want to have to sit on a guitar like that. I'd rather have three guitars for that money and be able to start moving them that way, because that's the goal here. It's really to get back on my feet with the selling of guitars and stuff like that. And as long as I'm still able to beat my indirect enemies, and that's certain shops on Reverb who specialize in Japanese Fenders, as long as I can beat their prices and make other people happy and still make a few bucks myself, I'm gonna chalk that up as a win. That's just me. But one of the guitars is a Jag, David. I don't think the Jag's coming today though. I think the Jag's the one that just shipped from Yokohama. Oh, hold on. Did it show up? Let me check the front door. False alarm. DHL's kind of impact there. Their notifications aren't the most lively of notifications, not the most timely. But yeah, one of them's a Jag. Obviously, whenever I see a nice Jag, I'm gonna buy it. That's just how it is. Those guitars sell themselves. I don't have to do anything for a Jazzmaster, a Jag, or a Mustang. They'll all sell themselves without much effort, and they're hard to find. So, all right, what else do we want to talk about today? Is there anything that you guys want to hit on? I'm actually going to be building a fence in this heat today. That's going to be a lot of fun. And actually, I never told you guys about this. I thought I filmed a video on it, but I never posted it. And this is off topic. This has nothing to do with music or guitars. But when we moved into this house, and about like 2 days after and ever since, there's this cat. And this cat comes right to the back, and it's like trying to get in. And, obviously I got a puppy, and, the puppy doesn't want anything to do with it. So the cat's kind of scared off, but I'll find it on the front porch or on the back, and you can kind of guess where this is going. The previous people that lived here left their house family cat just to survive on its own. Really, really shitty people. Really shitty people. And this is a problem because, first of all, there's a wild cat now that's figuring out how to live by itself. And the other problem is I don't have a fence on this property. So the dog whenever it sees the cat or any cats, because apparently people here they just let their animals walk around without leashes, just whatever and wander. And my dog, he's a puppy. He's 4 months old. He chases everything, and it's hell trying to catch him and save both of the animals really, because like an older cat that can do some damage to a little cavapoo. My guy's only like 10 pounds, man. So it wouldn't be pretty for one of them for sure. So I gotta try and fence it in so he has a safe place to run. And I also learned about these death frogs. I don't know if David knows about these. That I might have mentioned last week, but they will kill your dog or your cat if you just lick them because they're that poisonous. And they're really common here. So I got to build a fence. I got to line it with this kind of, it's like a granular thing. It's not poisonous to us or anything like that, but it'll keep all the frogs and the toads out. So the dog will have a place to play. And then I think I'm going to build an outdoor house outside of the fence for the cat that was left behind. And it just makes me sad because like I'll be shutting down the cameras and I'll be shutting down the guitars or whatever I'm working on at night because I'm always the last one to go to bed. And before I turn off everything, I see that cat that was left here. And he's probably looking in this house like, who the hell are you people? Why are you in my house? Where are my parents or my family or whatever? And why am I outside? I don't get how people can do that to animals. This really bums me out. So now I'm going to have some help here for a few days. I'm going to, just address stuff like that, as well as really start to get into this quad cortex and things of that nature. But thought I'd give you a little update on that situation. Really sad. Really sad how people can do that to animals. But the other neighbors, and the only reason I learned this, obviously, I mean, I talked to my other next door neighbors. They have a cat, and they left out food for it. And they're like, do you know the story about this? And I was like, no, obviously, no. We just moved here. How the hell would I know about your cat? But they tried to bring in the cat into their house to live with them. And he just like sprayed everywhere. And they were like, hell no, we're not dealing with that. So they just kind of leave him. They leave him food outside and a little like pillow thing, and that's it. Mental health counselor, a frog killed. Yeah, those things are no joke. They don't even need to eat the toad. They're called cane toads. They don't even need to eat them. All they have to do is like lick them and it'll get stuck in their gums and then it just deteriorates. And it's not one of those like situations where you have a lot of time. The animal could die within 15 minutes. Like, period. Like, there's nothing you can do about that. So it's really, really, really scary. Really scary thought. A domestic rabbit while walking. Rabbits are awesome, and that's awesome she saved it. Yeah, no, people suck, man. People suck. And then you have the other kinds of people that, they don't abandon their dogs or their rabbits or their cats. But for cats, it's not that big of a deal because I never see cats in cages. But animals like dogs, I'll see like kind of in their kennels or cages like that, like the big ones that they have in the houses. Or they'll live in like a small house where there's not a ton of room for them to run around. And maybe they get taken out like once or twice a day just to go to the bathroom. Like my neighbor's dog. I've never actually seen him go on a walk. He's a huge dog. He's probably 80, 90 pounds. But he just kind of walks in their little fenced-in back area. And that's pretty much all the exercise he gets. And I feel bad. I mean, granted, he has people that are feeding him and a place to sleep inside. But still, I don't know. I feel like some people shouldn't have animals. Like if you're not willing to really go out and play with the animal and let the animal have some sort of freedom, and what's the point? But rabbits are awesome. How old is that rabbit? Because my rabbit is 2010. Yeah, 11 years old. I didn't know they could live that long, man. It's a rabbit. And here I am on a music and guitar stream, and we're talking about pets, but dog licenses. I don't think we ever had those here. Don't you need a license to have cable? That I did hear. That's a horn I did hear. I think that is the guitar. Hold on. I wish this was portable. I wish this was portable. My neighbor just crashed into my other neighbor while parking a car. Oh, God, Florida. Oh, Florida, you hilarious place. Yeah, no, the rabbit is 11 years old, man. She's awesome. She's awesome. But she's never lived in a cage. She hasn't lived in a cage. She's always had a place to run around and jump. And if you ever get a rabbit and you want it to live a long time, just get it spayed or neutered and make sure it can exercise, because rabbits aren't like cats and dogs. Like, they don't get hairballs. They're not capable of throwing up. So you have to, well, so no, they're not capable of throwing up. So you have to be able to let them work out any problems with their intestines and stuff like that. And when it like clogs up, it's just, they'll choke out, they'll die. They'll go into GI status. Really sad stuff. But I feel like people don't do any research when they're buying a thing like that. They're like, oh, it's cute. You know, man, my kid will pet it once in a while and it'll just live in a little cage. Yeah, I don't know. So why do you have to pay for the BBC if you don't watch the BBC for TV? That doesn't seem right. And they'll send someone to your house? So that's crazy, man. That's crazy. All over television? So somebody will show up at your house and say, do you want a TV license, or do you have a TV license? That's ass backwards, dude. That's ass backwards. Outdated business model. That's just, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, leave me alone. I haven't had cable TV in, I don't know, not since the last time I lived in Florida. 2012 PRS, which one? I'd recommend almost any PRS in the whole world. Almost anyone. Depends on the model. But I love PRS guitars. They've been spoiling me. Like I hate this guitar. I hate this guitar. This is the CE24. It's too good. It's too good. It's no effort to play this guitar well. This guitar, you pick it up, you have an idea, it just instantly comes out. There's no struggle with this thing. It's perfect. Every time I pick it up, it's in tune. Doesn't matter if I'm hanging it on the wall or if it's sitting in the rack. This guitar is just, it's a perfect design. It's really a perfect design. I don't know how Paul did it, but it's probably the best guitar I have. It's too good. And like I was saying in the Stratocaster video, I kind of miss having to fight it. I was so bad playing that guitar, the Strat. I hadn't played that guitar in a while. And when I sat to play it, I was struggling a little bit. I was like, am I bad at guitar now? Or am I having a bad day? Or what's going on? No, man. You fight a little bit more when you play a vintage guitar than you do with, these works of art, these PRS guitars. And like I said, funny thing to complain about with the PRS, because how can you complain about something being perfect? But you kind of miss it once in a while. The fight's part of the fun. All right, let me just... I'm so paranoid about them leaving that guitar outside right now. I'm so paranoid about it. And I didn't think it was going to be coming this early. I thought I was going to have time. That's the guitar in Cape Coral, the red one. Right? Or Cape Coral. Yeah, that's the red S2 single cut. Cape Coral. The woman had it listed. She said it's a 2020. It's not a 2020. It is a 2013. I looked at that guitar. That's a good deal. I would offer her... Well, here's the thing. Here, I'm going to help you get an even better deal on that guitar. I'm going to help you get a better deal on that guitar. You're going to message her, and you're going to say what I said. Because I debated getting it, but I was like, it's overkill for me. And honestly, the profit margin-wise, because I have to factor in the shipping and all that, it wouldn't be worth it. And I have the other single cut. You can get a better price than what she's listing. She says it's firm, but she has that guitar listed on Reverb for $1,000 with shipping included. So if I were you, I would say, look, I'm interested in buying your guitar. I'm local to you. You have it listed on Reverb. If it sells on Reverb for $1,000, you're losing $77 off the top of that sale immediately. So you're already looking at $923 take home. Then you got to ship it. So you factor another $60 on top of that. You see where I'm going with this? Offer 875, she'll take it. And then you've stolen that guitar. I would do it in a heartbeat. 875, take that guitar. If you want to be ballsy, offer 850. But lead with that. Lead with that. Be like, look, I'm really interested in this guitar. You know, and when you explain, you know how Reverb works, because I've had this happen with people that list on Reverb for the first time ever, or you know they're not used to selling on Reverb. They won't factor in how much of the fee it is, or they won't realize it. Be like, look, they're taking 7.7%. Go look at your information on Reverb, because they're going to take that from her. So would you rather go through all that hassle, wait for the bank to distribute the money back to you? Then if there's a problem, you have a whole mess between online, the accounts are in the air. No, wouldn't it be easier if you just took the cash now? You didn't have to worry about it? Easy. Easy. Yeah, and that's just kind of a glimpse into how my mind works. And that's how I can get a lot better prices than a lot of other people. You just got to think things through, and just, if you present yourself in a way when you're trying to negotiate prices, in a not like a demeaning way or not an insulting way, because there's nothing worse than when you're selling something and somebody like basically insults you over it. And there have been times where I've wanted to sell a guitar and I would have taken what the person wanted to buy it for, but they were such a dick about it, and just like the way that they initiated the conversation, I was like, nah, man, like I wouldn't sell this guitar for you for double now. And I don't know, I'm a man of principle like that, so I won't do it. But if you frame it the way I told you to, David, I guarantee you'll get a better price on that guitar. And that is a nice guitar. I looked at it. I knew that's funny. I knew exactly what he was talking about as soon as he said it. And obviously I couldn't cheat. You would have seen me on the computer. Yeah, it was a red single cut. It's the one that had just the stop tail bridge on it. Really nice guitar. And I remembered that it was labeled the wrong year. And I found that interesting because it literally says on the back of the headstock 13. So nice guitar though. Really nice guitar. That's so funny. But yeah, I live on these websites. Oh, we have not looked at Dave's guitar today. Let's see if there's any good deals on there. I didn't know they made a limited edition of this new Zach Myers. The SE Zach Myers, the ones that are made in Indonesia, they're blue. They made one in a black cherry finish, and I saw that Dave's was selling it for like over $1,000. I almost laughed to myself. I'm like, guys, that's not right. All right, so Zach Myers. See if we can find one on Reverb so I can show you guys. Are those really 1,400 new, or is that just what the markup was? I don't even think it's that good looking. I don't. All right, let me copy the image and I will paste it into OBS for you guys. I could see how some people would like this, but I don't like it. I actually like the stock finish better. All right, so let's go. Boom, click it, browse. Boom, boom, open, done. All right, so move you over there. This guy. What do you guys think of this finish? What do you guys think of that? I don't think it looks bad. I don't think it's great, but I don't think it looks bad. But yeah, that's $1,400 these days right now. So I don't know. I guess it makes sense because what they did was they made that green of the S2 I had, that Arisa Verde. That used to be a core color, and over the last 2 years they've kind of introduced that into, you know, the SE lines and stuff like that. So I kind of understand why they would want to do kind of maybe a darker finish or something like that in something else. Plain colors. Plain colors. Well, it's not bad, but here's the thing, David. You can get an American-made one, like the one you were looking at, for like $400 or $500 less than that. That's when it becomes a head scratcher. It's like, I don't know about that. Suddenly it doesn't seem like such a good deal anymore. I spell it both ways. Depends who I'm talking to. Or I spell it, you know, a third way if I'm speaking Spanish. So it's all relative. That's a word I don't mind that the Brits spell incorrectly. All right. I really hope that this guitar comes in the next like minute or two, because it'd be fun to unbox it on here before I have to get going. Because I know my family just landed, so I'm probably gonna have to go to the airport and figure all that fun stuff out. Then, like I said, I have to build the fence. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to talk about. This bothered me. This really bothered me. So, I had told you guys many times in the past, and I sold my custom shop Telecaster, and I sold my ESP Horizon and two other guitars. Like I sold some guitars that I didn't want to sell when the lockdowns first started, and obviously my wife lost her job and I lost my ability to make money, and we were freaking out because we had a decent amount of savings. But once you get like, how many months into that were we? We lost everything in like March, so we're going without income for like months. So we blew through all the savings. So I sold all these guitars that I didn't want to sell, right? Because in my eyes, it was just like, you got to do the right thing. Like, you got to pay your bills. You got to do all this. It's the adult thing to do. You don't just not pay your bills, even though there was that moratorium where like you didn't have to pay back you didn't have to pay your rent because um, you would have to pay it back later, or some sort of eviction moratorium. So they weren't going to throw you out on the street, that makes sense. So at California, the place where we were living, where I sold all this stuff, and especially that custom shop Telecaster, this really pissed me off when I heard about this yesterday. If you didn't pay anything there, they just don't care. They're just going to take federal money, and they're just going to pay off all that unpaid rent. So the fact that I did the right thing here, and I sacrificed and all this, I tried to make sure that my landlords, who were really cool people, make sure that they were still getting their money. I could have just said screw it, and I could have been a bum and just taken the help and let the government bail me out of it entirely. But instead, I lost an extremely dear guitar, the guitar I bought when I got married, and a few other guitars and all that, trying to do the right thing, being a responsible adult. And they just announced they're going to use taxpayer money to just pay all that off, so nobody's going to have to owe anything. So, man, that really made me mad. And I don't really like to talk about politics. I'm not going to get into it further than that. Just the principle of knowing that, you can do the right thing, and it doesn't matter sometimes. But yeah, that really annoyed me. So, just wanted to get that off my chest real quick. As far as the other stuff goes, with the contest, you're not going to know this one. Nobody's going to know this one without Googling it or really having this. The clue for today is just 5A. That's it. 5A. And no, I'm not talking about a drumstick. Although I do use 5A drumsticks. I guess I could have used that. But no, 5A. But with the Fender Japan stuff, I was really, really surprised by you guys. Everybody seems you guys really want me to talk about Fender Japan and make videos about that, so I'm happy to do that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start specifically with the JVs and go over all those, because I barely scratched the surface. I didn't even mention the components differences, the finishes differences, all that kind of stuff. There is so much that goes into JVs, and there are guitars that you would never think are JVs that are JVs, and then there's a ton. If I go on the Reverb right now, yes, David, just 5A. If I go on the Reverb right now, they are labeled as JVs. They are not JVs. They're priced just so incorrectly. And it's sad because these people are just trying to take advantage of people that don't know what to look for with these guitars. And I can only imagine how many times, a guitar like this is sold as is, so they can't return it. And by the time that the customer really does their research, they take the guitar apart, or they see that part numbers and serial numbers don't match, they're stuck with the guitar. And I think the only kind of shining light in that scenario is at least you're still getting a good instrument. I haven't played a Fender Japan guitar that's a piece of crap. So, in a worst case scenario, maybe you get something that's not worth nearly as much as you thought it was going to be, and it's not nearly as rare, but at least you're still going to have a good instrument. So, there's that at least. All right. But no, we're going to do JVs, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from model to models and talk about some of my favorite rare models and some of the ones that I think are the really best deals depending on each body style. Because there's a few really good deals out there. You know what? I'll show you. Hold on. I'm on the fence with this one about buying it. Let me load this up. I was picking between this and the Jag, and I picked the Jag because I knew the Jag would sell, and I knew the Jag. I knew my profit would be better with the Jag, anyways. Where is this guy? I don't think I'm going to buy this guitar, but I thought it was pretty cool. All right, let me screenshot. Now, the only problem with this guitar is the problem I have with this model of guitar always, and that is I hate these pickups, stock. Even on the American versions, I hate these pickups. I think they're terrible. All right, load up OBS, and let's, oh no, I'm not trying to launch the Helix software. God, no, please don't do that. You'll crash everything. All right, browse, there we go. All right, here it comes. I thought, maybe. Where is it? That's not good. Seriously, where is it? What the heck? I can't find it. Well, that's obnoxious. All right, well, looks like I'm having user error. I'm not capable of doing this. Does that one show up? Okay, let me move it over now. So if we go from the Zach Myers and then we change it from that to this, will that work? There we go. Okay, this guy. It's a Telecaster with the Strat Trem, old 72 kind of style. It's got the Finline layout. I like that. It's in a nice, that's a gunmetal blue. That's a cool finish, man. But I was picking between this and the Jag. I bought the Jag from a different shop, but I saw this one at another shop in Shibuya, in a place in Tokyo. And I was like, oh, that's tempting, but I ended up not doing it. What do you guys think of that? Pretty cool, huh? All right. David thinks he knows what it is. Yeah, I thought it looked pretty good. I think that looked pretty good, that Telecaster. And it's not every day that you see a Telecaster with a trem, and I think that's very, very interesting, because when you have the two humbuckers and you add the trem into it and a Telecaster body, which is super comfortable, I think if it came with good humbuckers in it, not those wide ranges, that'd be a winner. That'd be a winner of a guitar. But I chose the Jag instead. Let me see here. Dog is knocking on the door. Hello, Mr. Yamaki. How you doing? We have a package we're waiting for from Japan right now. Right now. Let me see. Let the dog out real quick. All got the partner in crime here. What are you thinking? Actually, I can leave the door open if I get him in here. What are we thinking, bud? But no, the Fender Japan stuff, man. There are so many cool models that I feel like even I don't know about. And I've looked at these guitars and I've researched these guitars and I've adored Fender Japan for the better part of like 15 years. And I feel like every once in a while a model's going to pop up that I've never seen before. And it surprises me. They're so rare, some of these ones. Let me see if I can find another one. I missed this one. I was really sad. Super. All right, let me load it up. I know it's not the most fun to look at me while I'm doing this. All right, let me just save this. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about here. All right, so let's load this back up. Load you right there. Okay. But this guitar, I missed it by about 10 minutes. And I was really sad. I was really sad. Hey, don't lick that. You're better than that, buddy. Look at this. Look at that work of art. An ebony board. Oh, white matching headstock. Thin line with the TV Jones pickups. To die for. Why don't we make these guitars in America? Your guess is as good as mine. But, gorgeous. Gorgeous. I miss that guitar. I could have bought it. But a little too late on the trigger. And unfortunately, there are too many people like me who look at these. No, that's not a parallel universe. That is made in Japan. Telecaster super thin line. It's actually constructed different than the parallel universe one in a few ways. I did like that Fender did do that one because the parallel universe that came in, I think it's called Sunset Orange, and it had the TV Jones classics in it. The American one did, and it came with a rosewood board, not an ebony board. And I think one of the Japanese ones of those is actually a neck through. I don't think that one is, but I know some of them are neck throughs. But yeah, no, when I saw that guitar and I was like, that's a stunner. But the guy wanted $1,900 for it. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So I ended up passing on it. And then when I decided, oh, you know what? It's so rare. And it would be a cool guitar to have on the channel, you know, because I like having these rare guitars to show you guys and, you know, and resell and stuff like that. I thought it would be fun. Try it out. Obviously, I think it's going to sound great because I love Telecaster thin lines and I love TV Jones pickups. But it was gone. It wasn't meant to be. So the hunt continues. They also made that guitar in black. And then last year, they made that guitar in Japan in Sherwood Green. So let me see. I'll show you the black one next. You guys can let me know which of these is your favorite. All right, so let's load up that guy again. So there's the white one. Oh, come on. Let me just save the image. Don't make my life so difficult, guys. Save image. All right, so we got that one right there. Now, let's load up this guy. And here it is in black. Very sexy. Kind of looks like something John 5 would play in that finish. And then the last one is, copy image address one more time. Let's open it up. And the last one is this one. Oh, my bad. There we go. The Sherwood Green. But the Sherwood Green, that's a rosewood board. And I don't think it looks nearly as good. That is not a high definition picture. I should find a better one. But But that's absolutely a rosewood board, not an ebony board. And those other ones that I did show you guys, those were ebony boards. But yeah, just that right there. That's 3 Telecaster models that those were made in Japan well before. Well, except the green one. Those were made in Japan before the Parallel Universe ones ever was in America. And I don't know. I feel like for a company like them, they're always trying to like reinvent the wheel a little bit. And sometimes it hits, sometimes it misses. I think they missed big time on this year's. The Noventas, I think they screwed that. They screwed that pretty bad. I don't think those are selling that well at all. It's basically just Telecasters, Jazzmaster, and a Strat that have P90s. And I haven't seen hardly any hype for those. But when you think about that, like, you look at that, especially like that white one and that black one, just even if you just make those two, just like that, and even if you don't make it in America, you make those in Mexico, those are going to sell like hotcakes, man. They're going to sell like hotcakes. Sell that for $1,000. You don't even need to use the American Electronics if you don't want to. If they were really smart, see, I should work for these people. If you're really smart, what you do is you take the pickups that come in the Gretsch, the lower end Gretsches, the ones that are made in Korea, because Fender owns Gretsch. You take those pickups. They're called the black top Filtertrons, or some of the models. You put those two in instead of the TV Joneses, right? You use the Asian Electronics that come stock in those. And then you make an American version of the same guitar, but only make it in one finish. Then you use the American components. You use CTS pots and the TV Jones high-end pickups. Put it in a really nice case to match it. Sell like hotcakes. But what do I know? I only obsess with Fender guitars. But instead, what we need more anniversary Stratocasters in black, white, 3-tone sunburst. That's what we need, guys. Good work out there. Silly Fender. Yeah, I like the white one the best. I like the white one the best. Broadtron's one of them too. I love the TV Jones pickups too. I don't know why Fender doesn't. Well, actually, I do know why. Going back to common sense here, Fender doesn't use the TV Jones a lot because it's just more money they're gonna have to spend. I don't think they own TV Jones. So when they make their own guitars that have those style of pickups, those design of pickups, they make them in house. Obviously, saves them a lot of money. But when you do those, that's classy. I like those Parallel Universe guitars. And when the shutdown first happened, I saw the orange ones, the American-made Parallel Universe versions of those. Those were selling for like $1,000, like flat. And I was like, that's way too cheap. But obviously, I was in the opposite position as far as buying and selling guitars. Like many people were, I was selling and not buying. But that was the time. If you had money, oh, you could have cleaned up. You could have cleaned up, right, AC? Yeah? Are you falling asleep? You bored? What do you think? Bored? I think so. All right. So I think, yeah. All right. Let me see. So, yeah, there's a few other ones. There's and the Telecasters this year's the 2021 collection of Telecasters with the roasted maple neck and the matching headstock. They're very, very nice. Japan. I'll show you guys those too. And another guitar, I don't know why they just don't. I don't know why they won't do it here. Like this wouldn't take much. It really wouldn't take much. But they just refuse to do it. All right, so save image. All right, so let's change it again. Boom, switch. Boom. I'm going to start by showing you the back here. All right, whoa, that's ginormous. All right, try and size this down. Come on, you can do it. I promise. There we go. But it's got you can see the really nice roasted neck on it. And then if we go to the front, Same thing here. All right, so let's, and then we'll copy image, save. Now, thankfully, it should already be sized correctly so that when I switch here, I don't have to reset it. There we go, perfect. Yeah, but then it has the matching headstock. That's killer, man. That's killer. That's part of the 2021 Fender Japan collection. Beautiful instrument. Absolutely beautiful instrument. And something we're never going to get here. We're just not going to get it. Instead, we get road-worn guitars. And I cannot state this enough, I love that Fender Japan does not play that crap. I love it. I love that. My two favorite guitar factories, PRS and Fender Japan, they don't play that crap. They don't make relics. And that's good. I hope neither of them ever do. Because it's wrong, isn't it? It is wrong. But with the Fender Japan, I started to do some research on the first real video about them. And the first relic guitar was actually from Fender. Actually was a Japanese Fender. But the body wasn't relic. The body was mint. They used aged parts on it. And people started to fall in love with it. And I think that was in 1992. And then things started to go awry from there. Just a reminder, if you're just checking in now, the hint for today is 5A. That's it. 5A. We'll see if we can figure out, if you guys will be able to figure out what that means. And then I think we only have 2 clues left. Then we'll do the stream the week after that. And we'll see who can get a guitar, really. But it's been an hour. It's about as long as we do these things. I'm going to wait another few, public safety alert. What is blue alert? What does blue alert mean? I don't live in Florida, David. What's blue alert? Well, I mean, I live in Florida now, but missing person? Ooh, dangerous and with guns. Oh, you don't want to see that. Okay, yeah. All right, anyways, yeah. Apparently he's not missing. They basically said if you see this guy, run and call the police. Yeah, but he's last seen in Daytona Beach, so we don't have to worry about that. Daytona is about 4.5 hours away from here. I used to go to Daytona Beach a lot when I lived in Florida. Used to play that little Martin guitar up, out, and about around there. So, we'll do one more check to see if this random Fender Japan guitar is going to show up or if it already has. I just feel bad. I don't want to keep going to the front door and checking. And I know the second that I end the stream that they're going to knock and the guitar is going to be out there. I know that, but I got a lot to do. Like I said, I got to go to Lowe's and I got to pick up the fencing. We got to build the fence so that my dog can run around and not chase the abandoned cat. God, people suck, man. God, people suck. I can't get over that. How do you have a pet and you just leave it when you move? You just leave it outside. Beyond me. But, I don't know. Let me see. What did I talk about in that title? We hit the quad Cortex. We hit Mark Hoppus. Hope he gets better. Brand loyalty. I mean, I kind of touched on that. I talked about how I love PRS and Fender Japan. And now I put Neural DSP right there with those two. Not as far as like the guitars or the quality of anything like that, but just like how well Neural DSP handled the situation and how above and beyond they went to fix this problem. Like, they're up there now. They're in the top tier of manufacturers in this guitar industry to me. And I'm happy to get rid of the Line 6 stuff. And like I said, it's nothing against Line 6 either. But these guys they've won me over. They have won me over. Spanish Strat. What's Spanish Strat? What's Spanish Strat? What are you talking about? I don't have a Spanish Strat. I do have this guitar I bought in Madrid. You want to see it? Here, AC, you gotta play for a second. You've never seen this guitar. Actually, I bought this in Barcelona. Musical Emporium. Yobetesia 3176-338. I wonder if they're still in business. But this guitar was purchased when I was playing around in Barcelona. I've kept it quiet. I don't know how well you're going to see this. You see that? When I was in college, I had a roommate, and obviously we all partied and stuff like that. One night, I wasn't there. I was staying with my girlfriend at the time. I came home, and this guitar, the neck was smashed off. Nobody knew how it happened. Nobody remembered that it happened. Nobody said anything that it happened, because I got home around like 11 a.m. Like, they were awake. And nobody thought to tell me that my guitar that I purchased in Spain, they just happened to knock it off and destroy it. So this guitar has serious action issues, and it makes it somewhat unplayable, like feel-wise. I don't really like it at all. I can play cowboy chords. It's pretty good. Not the best in tune either, but yeah, that's the reason I don't play this guitar that much. Broken neck, and I can't take it out. And when I did get the guitar fixed and the guy re-glued it together, he's like, just don't take it into extreme temperatures or the glue is going to melt. This is kind of like a more fragile, older Spanish instrument, so just be careful with it. So it kind of just lives on the rack, and maybe one day I will, when I restring it next, I'll file down the bridge a little bit itself and see if I can lower the action that way. Because obviously, I'm not screwing with the truss rod on a guitar that's had the neck like straight broken. That ain't happening. But yeah, so that's this guitar. All right, I gotta go, you guys. People just walked into here. So thanks for checking in. I'll see you later.